Hello, good morning, and welcome back to Danny Duncan on Preaching. I just wanted to share with you how to use commentaries in Logos Bible software. I know some of you may not have gotten Logos Bible software as yet, but I'm encouraging you, 2 thumbs up. Please get it, right? Because it's amazing and it will tremendously help you in ministry, generally in ministry, but definitely for you preachers, it will definitely be of great assistance to you. So I'm going to share my screen and then we're going to work through. I'm going to share with you just a few things as to how you can go about using commentaries on your Logos Bible software. Okay, well, you should be seeing my screen at this point. And as you see, I do have the Logos Bible software is up. And this is the dashboard. You call it the dashboard or the home page. You want to call it that. And a number of things usually be right here, right? A number of things usually be here. And I'm going to go through with you concerning your commentaries. There are a number of ways that you can search your commentaries. I'm going to focus on 2 of them and then narrow it down to 1, right? So when you are studying your passage, you can do a passage guide, which let me expand here. Right. So you see your guides. Okay, your guides are there. You can go into guide and click passage guide. And let's do the Sermon on the Mount, right? Matthew 5. Let's say Matthew 5 and verse 6. Yeah, let's just do that. So this is your passage guide, and for those of you who are new to this channel, I went through previous videos on Logos, especially dealing with passage guide and what all these things has to offer you. But if you scroll down right here, I could just collapse this one. You see your commentaries are there, right? Your commentaries are there right there. I am not going to go through these now. I'm going to show you another way, which I recommend. You don't have to, but because you don't want a lot of things open while you are studying, that you have almost like 50 resources open. Yes, it's technology and you could easily click and close, but you don't want to create like a clutter. Okay, you want to be careful of that, because the point of Logos Bible software is to help you to move faster, to get through the work and all of that. Okay, so you don't want to put a stumbling block before your own self. Right, so I'm going to close that all off, and I'm going to show you where I usually go. Not all the time, because there's sometimes I may just do, like you see these 2 layouts here, passage study for sermon prep. So I use this one for sermon prep. So anything concerning sermon prep, yeah, regardless of the passage. Passage study for Bible study. Now we are in 1 John. So as you see, there's a couple of books open there. 1 John, 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, right? I use this for Bible study. But here, this quick start layout, Bible and commentary. This is the one. I'm going to click on it. right? So a couple of books are there, and we want to go through Bible and commentary. Bible and commentary. Bible and commentary has this layout. Now, my preferred version is the ESV. And as you can see, ESV is there, right? That's my preferred version. Your preferred version will show up when you click and you open Bible and commentary. It should, I think it should be on your dashboard. It should be there, right? Or you can just go into layouts. This thing right here, that's layout, and it's the first one. Okay, Bible and commentary. Now, as you see, the layout, the scripture is on my left, but on my right, you are looking at all the commentaries that are there. Okay, all the commentaries that are open, the ones that are open first. But if you want to see all of them, this is what you want to find. This right here. So what it did, what it does, it took that same section from your passage guide. What they did, they put it by itself, which I think is good. Because when you why I advise you to do this is because when you're reading commentaries, you want to read commentaries. With commentaries, you take a day and you just read through commentaries. Now, how can you use these commentaries? You see that you have different types. I could click on denominations, and I have quite a few different denominations there. I have my priorities as well. There are some commentaries that I prioritize. They will come first. Okay, and I used to go through this, but what I like to do is go by type, so I know what I'm gonna get generally, right? So you have those that are application. I know what I'm gonna get concerning that. I usually use Kent Hughes, his commentaries, the past preaching the word commentaries, really good. This is Warren Wiersbe, the BE or the B series, really good. I think there's an Old Testament one as well, right? Life application. Okay, so you have those. You have your concise commentaries, Tony Evans. You have the Hallman Illustrated Bible. Okay. So this is just a run through, right? I have another video that I'm gonna deal with, or I have already dealt with, I think, with the different types of commentaries. Then you have devotional ones, which kind of overlap a little bit with the application ones. Okay. Then, but look at here, you have your exegetical. Now, this has a whole lot, because I think this here is the meat of the matter, right? The exegetical. I really want to dig in. I don't want just on the surface. I want to dig in. Okay, and they're all there. Okay, they're all there, and not all of them are of equal weight, right? Some of them, really and truly, some of them I don't even read them, right? Some of them are there because they were part of the package. I didn't really bought them. They were part of the package, but they're not really that helpful. Okay. But then you can scroll past that and you have your expositional commentaries, which are there, Christ-centered exposition, really good as well. The Hallman New Testament and Old Testament is really good. New American Commentary, that's good as well. All right, and this is ESV exegetical commentary. No expositional commentary. That's good. They have the Barnes, right? Barnes commentary and coming down. So this is just a run through. How are you going to use commentaries now? What are you going to do? Let's say, let's just click on the Barnes. And in Barnes, remember you're looking for, hold up. I have to type in, it's Matthew 5:6. So we have to put that in. And this, with this layout, there's a link between the Bible and the commentaries, right? There's a link between Bible and commentaries. So if you put Matthew 5:6 in the Bible, when you go over the commentaries, it's going to go to Matthew 5:6 for your commentaries. So there's a link. You can turn this off if you don't want it to link like that, because let's say you click on, let's say you click on one of these commentaries and then you click on a scripture. Well, this will change, right? So and if you don't want that, you could just link set, just click none, which I'm going to do, right? I usually click none and I don't want it to, to link. Let me just get this a little bigger. Right, so we're dealing with Matthew 5:6. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Okay, so let's say I found, all right, let's just go with the BE series. Let's just go with this one. Right. Good. So your verse is verse 6. And you found this, we mourn over sin and despise it. We see sin the way God sees it and seek to treat it the way God does. Those who cover sin or defend sin certainly have the wrong attitude. We should not only mourn over our sin, but we should also meekly submit to God. All right. So let's say this portion, you like what is said, right? So remember, this video is to show you how you use commentaries. You like what is said, and you want to use that, whether it's as a quote or you want it as a reference for later. Most times I collect information from commentaries as a reference. I may quote it, right? I may quote it. A number of times I may have at least one quote or two. But I think majority of it for me is reference for later. I'm going to explain what I mean by that. But so let's say you like that. You like what is said there and you want to use it somehow. Okay. So when you highlight it, this rectangular box is going to come up. Of course, you can put a note on it by clicking add note. You can highlight it and all of that. But I'm not going to do any of that. I'm not even going to copy it. These three little buttons there, dots there, I'm going to click on that. What I want to do is put that in a clipping. So I'm going to add a clipping. I'm going to put it in a clipping, right? So, and I'm going to name the clipping Matthew 5:6. And it's good to always name the clipping. Just put the scripture there so you know when you go back there, you have to figure out, why did I clip this again? You know exactly why you clipped it. Matter of fact, here's how I clip it. Here's what I do, right? Here's what I do. I don't just put Matthew. I put commentary on Matthew 5:6. That's how I put my clipping. So that's from commentary to clipping. Why I clip it? Well, I want to use this later. As I said, if I want to quote Warren Wiersbe, I want to quote this part here, right? I can do that, right? I can just cut this part here, copy and paste it into my sermon, and there's a way to put it as a quote, and put Warren Wiersbe below. So I know it's from him, and I would say it's from him, right? So not give the impression that it's my stuff, right? But I would use commentaries like this, clip them, and then when I'm writing out my sermon now, I will go back over. They're like my notes, my additional notes, because I do have a note. Because what I will do, I will have like a notebook for Matthew 5, 6. And I'm going to show you all of that now. Let me show you my commentaries, my clippings. Sorry, let me show you my clippings. So look at my clippings, right? Let's just look at Psalms 103. Look at my clippings, right? So I have from Treasury of David. This is Spurgeon. I think I would have quoted Spurgeon in this sermon, right? The Matthew Henry commentary on the whole Bible, that is really great. The concise one, it's all right, but you have to get the commentary on the whole Bible. That is really great. So they're all there, right? Notice they're all there. This is all the commentaries I need. Now, I am not going to put not even 5% of this in my sermon word for word. As I said, I'm going to quote here and there. But what this does for me, it, like say, this, I believe in a God who can feel. This keeps me in mind of what the scripture says. And I may say those exact words, I may not, right? But it keeps me focused on what the things I need to bring out or highlight about Psalm 103 and verse 13. Okay. So I'm using commentaries to help me communicate what needs to be said, right? Even if I may not use the commentator's words. Okay. Right. So when you collect your commentaries, your comments, what the commentators are saying, as I said, what I would advise you to do, just highlight it. This rectangular box will come up. If it doesn't, then you can highlight it and right click. Just right click. This bigger box will come up and you scroll down and you could add a clipping. So this is like notes. I see these like notes for later. Okay, the other things I do for clippings, I'll do that one time. The theology of the passage. So the theology of Ephesians 4, 4 to 6. I would do, if I'm looking at Eve, the mother of all living, this is on Eve, what all the information that I want on Eve, right? From dictionaries and so on. Okay, so I use clipping to basically as a note-taking tool. Okay, which I find, but I guess that's the purpose for it. All right, but let me show you concerning my notes now. Sometimes I may put a comment from a commentary in my notes, but hardly do that. But I will create a notebook. All right, so let me just show you my notebooks, what they look like. So these are my notebooks. And again, you have to label everything. Label them according to the scripture that you are doing, so you don't get mixed up. If there's a repeat and you want to create a new notebook, you could just put part 2 or 2026. But most times I just use the same notebook and go with that. So let's look at this notebook, 1 Corinthians. Right, that brings up the Greek word. I don't want the Greek word. The notebook, here I usually put the default so I could see it in a wider, right? Then you have some things there. Now, sometimes my notes are just basically highlights, And other times, again, what I do put in my notes are like definitions of words. So I may put the definitions there. So this is from that commentary. Look at it. See that commentary. But this one kind of define some words for me that I wanted. So I put that, the topos, replace, I put that in my notebook. So let's get back to commentaries now. So this is how you can use your commentaries, right? And when you are, let's say you've taken this out, right, and you've put it in this clipping. Let's say you want to find this back. You want to go back to this because this was just a little piece. You want more information, you could just open back up the book, right? I'm going to do it, but it's already open. So it's just going to go back over this side. Okay. And let's say for your clipping, you want to click the source, copy the source. This is the source right here. You just click copy and you can go in your sermon and click paste, right? Copy and paste. And that to me is very good, just as it is. Okay. Your commentaries as well, you have the scripture verses there. So I use them as well for scripture verses. Okay. But let me give you an idea of what the exegetical commentaries look like, because I know some of you might be wondering what they look like. Exegetical commentaries. So these commentaries are some of my favorites. These exegetical summaries, because this gives me like a summary of what other most commentaries say about a particular verse. So let me just click on it. And these are exegetical summaries. So if you want to comment, again, you want to invest in the best commentaries, yeah, this is up there with, to really help you. Blessed are those hungering and thirsting for righteousness, right? So it gives the word pinao, to hunger, and it goes down and it gives you, these are definitions from what you call dictionaries, but some of them from Bibles as well. Okay, definition of that word, right? Definitions of that word, but it also asks some very critical question. What is meant by hungering and thirsting? And then it goes to give you what the commentaries, the main ones, are saying what it means. Okay, so this is a very, very good tool, exegetical summaries. Now, my favorite, one of my favorite, because if I go back into what you call passage guide, and I have to show you my priorities, a priority that the commentaries that I chosen for priority, this will be up there. I would have bought the word pictures as well. This is very good. This gives you the definition of words and phrases, right? So exegetical, as I said, deals with the words, the phrases, the Greek words, or even the Hebrew word, and so on. Okay. Then you have John Stott. Okay, John Stott, a little softer, but still in the exegetical range, right? And it goes in. Okay. All right, and you have all of that right there. The Pillar New Testament, Leon Morris is okay as well. So this is how you can use your commentaries for your sermons. So then if I ought to, I'm going to show you one last thing and then we could, all right. Let's say I want to use, I'm going to open, let me open a new sermon, right? Let me open a new sermon. And right, and I want to, let's say I want to use this information. but I want to use it as a quote, right? We mourn over sin and despise it. Okay, let's use that phrase. I'll copy it. And for those of you who, right, let me just right click so to show. This is the shortcut. Control C, that's copy. Control X, cut. Control V, paste. Please learn these shortcuts. They will help you tremendously, save time, right? But if I want to use it, I paste it. But you see how it is? That's not good enough. Because if it's like that, that means I'm going to be using without giving credit to the author, right? So I can't leave it like that. Now, for me, if I put it like that, I know those are not my words, right? So I would say one commentate, even if I forgot to do what I'm going to show you now, I would still say, one commentator said. I would still say that because I wouldn't know, I don't really write like that. Okay. So I would, say something concerning that. But how you can put this, and you must put it as a quote, it's you go to normal, and there's something called block quote, or you can put it as a shortcut, Control Alt 7. Now I'm going to click it. Now it's a quote, but you see, it's still not finished. Who is the author? Where's the source? Right? So what you can do, you can type in the author if you want to. You can do that. Or you go back to your clipping, right? And you turn over the clip right at the bottom, the arrow right there, turn it over, copy, go back into your sermon, press enter to go down a little bit, click paste. There is where your clipping is, it's finished being copied and pasted correctly, correct in the correct way, where you can say, Warren Risby says, we mourn over sin and despise it. Or you might say, I like what Warren Risby said in his commentary. He said, we mourn over sin and despise it. And everything is right there, right? Everything is right there. So you have to know how to use the commentaries. So it's not just like you just go into, right? You just go into BE commentary, and meekness is not weakness for Moses and you just copy, and then you go into your sermon, click paste, and and you can do this, the Bible exposition commentary, right? I guess you can do this as well, but please don't just rush ahead and preach it like if it's yours. You need to say, the Bible exposition commentary states, Warren Risby says, meekness is not weakness. So you need to, right? You need to. And let me see the slide. Let me see how the slides look. Right. See, it's quoted from the B commentary. So it's properly in the slide. That's what I love about Logos, right? I mean, it gets what I need to do, and it does it, right? I don't need to go in to create nothing. It's already there, and I could even change the type of slides as well. Okay, so this was just let me close off everything. That's a brief video on how to use commentary in your Logos Bible software, how to move from there to your sermon and how to use it, and use it legally, right, effectively as well. So any comments you have in the, you can post it in the comment section concerning commentaries, and we can discuss it. We can talk together as well. So I want to thank you for joining, and let me see if there is any comments there in the section. All right. But thank you for joining me this morning, and God bless you richly. You take care until next time. This is Danny Duncan on preaching. God bless.